Would you like to make money rain like a hurricane at your next virtual masterclass? Angie, what the heck are you talking about? Rain like a hurricane. That's our fun way of describing a 6 or 7 figure day using live virtual masterclasses. So, would it be valuable to you if you knew exactly how to create 6 or 7 figures in one day using a virtual masterclass? Not only is this very possible, but once you set this system up, you can create a cash infusion anytime you schedule a virtual masterclass. I'm awesome Angie Ingstrom, honoring the awesomeness in you.
And I'm GITTE. Now, if you are a business owner looking to scale your business, this episode is for you, so stay tuned. Today, we'll be sharing our elite tips for transforming an ordinary virtual masterclass into a one-day money-making machine simply by changing the way you speak at your event. Pretty amazing, right? Okay, so get ready for a killer topic that will turn your virtual event game upside down. And get ready to make money rain like a hurricane as we dive into the secrets of speaking at virtual masterclasses. And we'll also be sharing a secret ninja know-how and tips for that.
Yeah, I'm excited about today's episode, making money rain like a hurricane. Now, let's kick things off with answering the big why. Why is it so important to be good at speaking when doing a virtual masterclass? The simple answer is it's your golden ticket to capturing attention in the crowded digital space, a way to stand out. Like when in the beginning I said, making money rain like a hurricane, did it grab your attention? Kind of make you lean in a little bit?
Definitely. Because it's very unique and it's a bold visual and it's not a phrase I've heard often before. So yeah, I was pretty intrigued.
And then when I said create 6 or even 7 figures in a day, did that capture your interest?
Oh, yes. Making 6 to 7 figures in one day, that's a very clear and quantifiable outcome. And it's something that piques the interest of most business owners. We would like to achieve that, right? Okay, just try to think about it like this. You've only got seconds to grab your audience's attention in the digital space. So you gotta grab it really fast. And being an engaging speaker, it works like a magnetic force that will pull your audience in and just leave an unforgettable impression that will end up making money rain like a hurricane in your business. Because speaking in the right way at your virtual masterclass, it isn't just a skill. It's sort of more like your secret sauce superpower that will give you jaw-dropping conversion rates. And the best thing about it is that it's a skill that can be learned.
Exactly. Making money rain like a hurricane. Well, speaking is so important because if you don't get it right, people start to zone out. They lose interest, they lose focus. Like the other day, I was participating in a networking meeting, and the guy sitting next to me just kept talking all about himself and his product and whatnot. And that feeling when you're just sitting next to someone who's just talking about themselves and they're not engaging you at all. They're not asking you any questions, or they don't even just seem to care about you. You know, they're not engaging you in conversation at all. It's all about them. Exactly. So that's how I was feeling. So what happened was I started to zone out, like thinking about other stuff, like, hey, I wonder what's for lunch. And you know that feeling, when your attention just starts to drift away because the other person just is not engaging you and creating a dialogue.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling. It sort of reminds me of being back in school again. Like, do you remember that feeling when the teachers just kept talking, piling up lots of information? And the thing about it was that they never stopped to even explain why it was important for us to learn these things and when we were going to be using all of that information. Do you remember that feeling? To be honest, sometimes I just started to zone out, just like you at that network meeting, actually, Angie.
Exactly. And that's what happens. People are just gonna get bored. And to be honest, that will not make money rain like a hurricane.
No, it definitely won't. And you absolutely don't want to be boring when you're speaking. That's the first commandment of speaking.
Okay, so now we've established how you don't want to be speaking at your virtual masterclass. Let's dive into some fire sauce advice on how to speak at your virtual masterclass you want if you want it to if you want money to rain like a hurricane.
Yeah, let's go. Let's make money rain like a hurricane.
Woohoo! Well, okay, so here's our first tip. Use transformational speaking when you're speaking at your virtual masterclass. So, transformational speaking happens when attendees enter the speaking event with one set of beliefs, values, and assumed identities. And then they walk away from your event with a new set of values, beliefs, and identities. And to be clear here, we're not talking about teaching or giving a lot of information. Transferring information is not being transformational. All right, I have to repeat that because that's important. Transferring information is not being transformational. Even, very valuable information does not equate to transformational speaking that changes an audience. So quit teaching because mediocre speakers focus on conveying information. And you see it everywhere. But if you want to make it rain like a hurricane, you want to be focusing on orchestrating transformation. Your goal is to transform your audience.
Exactly. Great speakers place their audience at the center of every speech, whereas mediocre speakers, they make information center stage. Just think about the meaning of it for a second. Let me just repeat it because it's really important. Great speakers place their audience at the center of every speech, whereas mediocre speakers make information center stage. So stop informing and start transforming.
Yeah, stop informing and start transforming. So, an example of this could be, let's say you help women get in swimsuit shape for the summer. Say that 10 times. Swimsuit shape for the summer. Let's just say this is what you do for work. And these women might be coming into your masterclass with an objection, something like, hey, I've tried so many things to stay in shape and they've just never worked for me. So instead of just giving them tons of information like what to eat and how to exercise, and of course these things are important, but obviously that's going to come later in your program. Instead, in this event, your job is to speak transformationally because if you don't address those hidden beliefs that are keeping them stuck in that undesirable body shape, they're not going to make the shift. It's those beliefs that they don't even know they have. But you, as the expert, you do know the false beliefs. And however, you can't just tell them that their false beliefs, you know, aren't true. You need them to experience the pain that's coming with the beliefs that they currently hold, even if they don't even know that they have them yet. And then you need them to experience the elation of being freed from those beliefs. It's a transformation from, from that pain to that, that elation of actually being freed of the beliefs. And let them decide for themselves based on their own mental journey. As you're going through this masterclass, they're having this journey in their mind, that the beliefs that they hold are false. Like your speaking is going to bring them on this journey. And when they come to the conclusion themselves, they believe it. And that's super important to understand. They're not going to believe it if you tell them. Like if you just tell them, give them information, and just tell them. They let them come to that conclusion themselves. I don't know if you've got kids, but it's it's a that's a good, always let the kid come up with the idea. Like give them two choices that are good for you. Have you ever done that, Geety? Like,
Or
you know,
your husband, Angie.
yeah, anybody. Like this is just basic leadership 101. Like give them two options that are good and let them decide which one it is. And then they're gonna actually follow through on it. I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation. As I segue. Um, so okay, so back to this transformation thing. A powerful way to do this without them even knowing what's going on, is through storytelling. But hold on, that tip's coming up soon. We're getting there. But for now, the important thing to know is just stop informing and start transforming.
Exactly. It doesn't help your audience if you only give them lots of information, like everybody else does, because actually they can find that on Google. So overloading them with information doesn't serve them at the highest level. What they need isn't more information. What they need is the transformation. And when you place the focus of your masterclass presentation on transformation, the entire context of your masterclass changes because your audience becomes the subject, not some other extraneous topic. It's all about them, and they will be able to feel that. When the subject is your audience, they will experience your content in a deeper and a far more personal way.
Yeah, I love that distinction where the subject is your audience, not the information. Allow
Mm.
your audience to feel the effects of the content, feel it while you're talking, and it makes your content relevant and interesting. So make your audience the focus of your content, and the delivery of your content will become a unique and engaging experience for them. Your goal should always be that each participant enters your masterclass and should leave it completely changed, whether or not they buy or not. They're gonna leave the masterclass changed because whatever information they think they need, um, you know, eh, now that they've gone through your master class and transformed their beliefs, they can take they're going to be able to take the information and make rapid changes because you've worked on the beliefs in your master class. I don't know if does that make sense? So
Mm.
the first tip is use transformational speaking.
And the second tip is doing some good old-fashioned research because you need to truly understand your audience's needs and their challenges in advance before you do your masterclass. By understanding your audience, you can make sure that you tailor your content to directly address the precise obstacles and concerns that feel the most in their minds. And you need to dive deep into this and find out what keeps them up at night, what hurts they're facing in their business. You don't want to just look at the surface stuff. You want to try to dig a little deeper and find out about the things that really truly matter to your audience. Now, if you're wondering how to do that, you could do an ask campaign in advance, or you could simply ask them that exact question when they sign up to participate in your virtual masterclass. You can simply just include it on the sign up form, saying something like, what are you hoping to achieve by participating in this event? And then you can use that content to create your own content.
Yeah, and you can even like, when you actually get in the master class, you could just ask them then too. Because
Yeah.
it's so important to know what it is that they want to accomplish by the end of the time together. So this first tip is to use transformational speaking. The second tip is understanding your audience's needs and challenges in advance. And that third tip is customization. You need to craft your masterclass and your entire content to directly address their answers. So the answers you got from the Ask campaign. And a pro tip here is that you also tailor your offer to make it a laser focused solution to tackle the precise obstacles and challenges that they're facing.
So good. Okay, so let's recap. Use transformational speaking, understand your audience's needs and challenges in advance, deeply understand them, and customize the event to their needs. Now, the fourth thing to remember is create engagement and keep encouraging it. Virtual events are a bit like dinner parties in that regard, actually. Have you ever been to a boring, unengaging dinner party? The kind of party where the conversation topics are just plain boring and you're talking about the weather and the price of gasoline all night and you're just thinking, hey, when is this going to be over? And you know, the entire room just seems to be lacking energy and excitement, and there's these long periods of awkward silence. Have you ever tried that? Well, I sure have. How about you, Angie?
Oh, of course. Yeah, going to a boring dinner party. Uh, yeah, that's, definitely no fun. And, and that's what happens if your virtual masterclass is lacking engagement. And just like at that dinner party, people are going to leave early and you don't want that, and maybe even so early, they're not going to hear your offer that you're going to present. And, so your audience leaving early isn't the only thing you need to worry about. It's also, you also have to consider the retention rate of the content you share with your audience at your event. Because research shows that when we're engaged, we have a higher retention of the knowledge that we're learning. Like the saying goes, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn.
Yes, exactly. You might call engagement the heartbeat of any virtual masterclass. This means that you shouldn't only create engagement a couple of times during your event, you need to be doing it constantly, just like all the time. Ways to do it, it could be like asking questions to the audience, engaging them in the chat, doing Q&A sessions. You could do a hot seat, whatever. You just need to make the masterclass interactive and keep engaging the audience if you want to make money rain like a hurricane at your virtual masterclass. Because engagement is the secret sauce that will turn your masterclass into an experience that can become transformational for your audience. And not just give them lots of information that they will forget in an instant and that they could find for themselves. You need to engage during the entire event.
Yes, remember that virtual masterclasses are not just a one-way street. Another great way to create engagement and transformation is storytelling. And the power of storytelling is that it ignites emotions in your audience, and emotions definitely create engagement. Emotions drive human behavior and fuel decisive actions. And what happens is this: when your audience feels a strong emotional link, they're not just going to be engaged, they're going to be compelled to act and invest. Moreover, emotions are strongly tied to memory. So when content stirs their deep emotions, it'll be etched in their minds, making it unforgettable. And you can tell them a story from your personal life, a client's story, a story from history, even a parable or a metaphor.
Hmm. Okay, so let's recap. Our last tip is to use lots of storytelling at your event if you want to make money rain like a hurricane. So let's recap. Use transformational speaking, understand your audience's needs and challenges in advance, customize the event to their needs, create engagement, and use storytelling. And there you have it, our best proven speaking tips for making money rain like a hurricane at your virtual masterclass.
Yes, being an engaging and compelling speaker will elevate your message from being heard to being felt. And that will make all the difference in the world. Just like being at a dinner party. Like, you want your master class to be fun because emotions have the power to inspire action and drive decisions and ultimately, scale your business to new heights. And remember, it's your time to shine. It's time. Make money rain like a hurricane in your business. So, thanks for listening to Momentum Makers podcast. Keep your momentum, keep moving forward. And if you happen to be a course creator, business owner, or influencer spending too much time selling one on one, and you are ready to condense time and sell one to many, then open up a tab on your browser and go to elitevirtualstages.com/report and learn how you can turn your expertise into 6 or 7 figure days using live transformational virtual masterclasses.